Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video we'll be covering the best Game Week 30 free hit. On top of that we'll also include some different / honourable mentions that you could go with to help you boost your rank. If you do enjoy today's content, please do smash the like button and also subscribe to the channel. It means the absolute world to me. But without further ado, let's get into the Game Week 30 free hit draft. So here is my Game Week 30 free hit draft. Now, as you can see, it is centred around three clubs mainly. That is Wolves, Arsenal and Spurs, as I believe they have the best fixtures to attack this game week. So starting off in goal, we have Jose Sarr. Now, Jose Sarr is a very solid pick. He's played every single Premier League minute for Wolves this season. He's also kept 11 clean sheets. That's a fantastic for a team like Wolves. 11 clean sheets is brilliant. He's also picking up save points as well, and also getting himself into bonus. Now that comes into play with the way that Wolves play. They kind of invite the pressure on, let teams shoot from long range, and that just, it just accumulates the points for Jose Sarr. Very solid pick. I could definitely see him keeping a clean sheet against Leeds this week. Moving into the back line, we start with Cody. Similar to Jose Sarr, he's a no-frills kind of player. Very solid, very nailed, just like Jose Sarr played every single Premier League minute. He's dirt cheap at 4.7, 4.8. I can't remember the price off the top of my head, but I believe it's 4.7. He's obviously scored last game week against Everton. Now, don't expect that from him every week, but for me, I would go for Cody over maybe a Saiss or a Kilman or one of the wing-backs, just purely down to the fact that he has played every single Premier League minute. He's nailed. What more can you ask from? If both of them keep a clean sheet, that's a nice easy 12 points. Moving on to the next defender, we have got Kieran Tierney. Now, Arsenal have been on this incredible run of form. They've only lost one of the last 7 games in the Premier League, and that was against Manchester City on New Year's Day, so that can kind of be excused a little bit. But yeah, Kieran Tierney, he's been a very good option at the back this season. Arsenal have looked really good, as we mentioned, and I think with that you could maybe go for Ben White if money is an option, but for me I'm going Kieran Tierney purely down to the fact that he could potentially get more than just the clean sheet. For me, he's in the side just to maybe get an attack in return. Moving on to the next defender, this one's going to take a lot more explaining than the other two, and it is Ethan Pinnock. Now, the reason I've put Ethan Pinnock in my side, initially I was going to go for Matty Cash. As you can see, he's moved to my bench. Matty Cash has been in great form over the past few game weeks, but with the heavy Arsenal kind of players in my team, I didn't want to put Matty Cash in there and just him get 2 points on 1 point when Arsenal inevitably score. So we've gone for Ethan Pinnock. Now, the reason I've gone for Ethan Pinnock is Leicester have conceded the most set play goals this season in the Premier League, and Brentford have the joint 3rd most goals from set plays. They've also brought in Christian Erickson, who has only increased their ability to score from corners, free kicks, because he is fantastic with the delivery. Arguably one of the Premier League's best players from set plays. Now, you could even go Janssen, but I've gone for Pinnock, just down to the fact that I do believe they will score a corner. Or something that Brentford also do is long throws. Now, Brentford are a team that I've spoke about highly on this channel before, and I'm going to continue to. They're a team that look for the marginal gains in football. Now, they're the team that target set plays. They're a team that target the long throws, just looking for this 1-2 extra % that can get them a goal, can create them a chance. They're a little bit unconventional, and that's why I've gone for Ethan Pinnock this week, as I do believe Leicester are a team that they're definitely going to target with their set pieces. Moving on to the first player in midfield, and we are going to go for Harvey Barnes. Now, Harvey Barnes is one of my favourite players over the past few years playing FPL. He was obviously a fantastic option last season. I had him in the start this year, but it's just kind of not worked out for him, has it? He's been rotated. He's not hit the same heights that he did last season, but if you look at the underlying data, one of the key stats that I've highlighted is 29 touches in the opposition box for Harvey Barnes over the past 5 game weeks. Now, that is a fantastic stat. Compare that to someone like Son, Saka, Sevsky. He's above all them It shows that he's getting in the right areas, and eventually, if he can get enough touches in the box, he's surely going to create opportunities. For me, he's got that direct approach to the way he plays, and he's also got a fantastic shot on him. It's the power he can get out of it. So for me, Harvey Barnes against a Brentford team who have, yes, won their last 2 games against relegation teams, but I could definitely see Harvey Barnes getting an attacking return out of this game. The only thing to note with Harvey Barnes is Leicester playing the Europa Conference League on Thursday against Rennes. So if he plays the full 90 there, maybe go for someone who didn't. Maybe a James Maddison, a Tielemans. They're alternatives that you definitely could go for. Now my next pick is Mr. FPL troll himself, Rafinha. Now Rafinha had an absolutely blinding game against Norwich, and I'm still baffled that he scored 5 points. It's still taking me a little bit of time. From that game, he had an expected goal involvement of 2.08, missed some absolute huge opportunities, created plenty of opportunities for teammates as well. Surely at some point, Rafinha has to haul. I mean, surely. Over the past 5 game weeks, his expected points have been 32.77 and his actual points have been 18 over that same period. So surely we're looking at all these stats, they're lining up for him. Surely something has to go at some point. Surely there has to be a haul there for Rafinha. He's arguably one of Leeds' best players as well, so that's why he's in the team for me. Leeds as well, that win, you could see it uplifted everyone. There was people crying, there was people hugging. It was a massive win. It felt like a monumentous moment for Leeds where they definitely could kick on. Now obviously we spoke about how good Wolves' defence have been, but you know, Rafinha is probably the only player that could maybe open that up for them. And with this underlying data that he's actually getting over the past few weeks, surely, God, he's in my team every week. Surely something has to go. Something has to click, and a goal or a haul has to come soon from Rafinha. Next, we have gone for Saka. Now, over the past 4 games, Saka has scored 2 goals and got 1 assist. He's arguably one of the most nailed players as well in that Arsenal kind of front 4. You could go Martinelli, who has come back into the side since his suspension. You could go Odegaard as well if money is an option. But for me, I've gone for Saka. It's a nice, easy pick. There's not too much to explain here as well. Next to him is Heung-min Son. Now, Heung-min Son, he was the last player I put in this team. He's been disappointing in the past few game weeks for me, especially in the United game. He just didn't look quite up to it. We'll see how he gets on in the Brighton game. That could definitely change my mind whether or not he starts or he gets replaced with Ivan Toney or Christian Erickson, who I will come on to a little bit later. But yeah, Heung-min Son, he's been disappointing over the past few game weeks, so we're going to see how he gets on. But you know, he is a player that is quite highly owned, so I don't want to lose too much in case he does haul against West Ham. But yeah, Son is kind of in the team at the moment, but definitely one who could be replaced, and maybe one that you should be looking to replace. All I'd say with that is just look how he plays in the Brighton game. If he plays quite well, then I'd say keep him for the West Ham game. Next to him is Sevsky. Now, Sevsky, since joining, wowee, what a player he is. He's got the kind of Iron Robin kind of esque presence to him. He's nice and cheap. 2 goals, 3 assists in the past 5 game weeks. Obviously, the last one was the penalty against United. But yeah, he looks to me to kind of be stepping up to the mark, and definitely a player I want in my team for this game week. Moving on to the front line, and it is a very strong front line, starting with Harry Kane. Harry Kane seems to have recovered from his early season kind of stagnation. Like, didn't really get going, did he, at the start? But it seems like he's starting to come to fruition, starting to understand what Conte wants from him, and starting to fulfill our expectations. Now, Kane over the past 5 game weeks has scored 6 goals and 1 assist. Absolutely phenomenal, and he will be my captain for this free hit as well. He has a fantastic record against West Ham. He scored 11 goals in 19 appearances against them. Last time I mentioned Harry Kane's great goal scoring record against the club, it was against Everton. And now all I'm saying is look what he did there. So for me, Harry Kane, an easy captain option. And obviously it's up to you. You could maybe go Son, you could go Lacazette. You could even go Cody or Jose Sa if you're really feeling boring. But, you know, For me, Harry Kane, it's an easy captaincy option, and that's why he is in my team. The next option that I've gone for up front is Alexander Lacazette. He's on penalties. Arsenal, obviously, I've spoke about their recent good form. There's not too many other forward options that you could maybe add into your team. I will talk about Ivan Toney in a minute, so you maybe could replace Lacazette with Ivan Toney. Villa as well are a little bit inconsistent for me. They kind of win one week and then the next week they're kind of non-existent. They seem a little bit shaky at the back as well. Definitely a team where I can see Arsenal scoring maybe 1 or 2 goals. And Lacazette for me, he's a nice option. He's an okay price as well, especially when you're on this free hit. There aren't too many big money options, and Lacazette could definitely fill that for me. Partners quite nicely with Kane as well. On penalties, it's quite an easy pick. Moving on to the defence. Now, I've gone for Schmeichel. You could easily go for Ramsdale. Could go for Ramsdale over Sarr as well, but I have gone for Tierney, so I couldn't have another Arsenal player, so I've just gone for Schmeichel at home against Brentford. Leicester have been pretty dreadful at the back all season, so, you know, he's just there to make up the numbers, to be honest. Cresswell, I made this graphic last night, and I saw this morning that he has a flag. The only reason that I was going to go for Cresswell is purely down to West Ham being the joint third for goals from set plays. He takes them on the left hand side. That was kind of my only thought. He's not going to make it in my team, but especially if he's injured now, so I might just go for another defender. Ivan Toney, now this is the one where you could put Ivan Toney in. In his last 3 games, he's got 5 goals. Bearing in mind, 3 of them have come from the penalty spot. If you look at his expected goals and his expected non-penalty goals, there's a big difference, and that can be seen within his underlying data. That's the only reason he's not starting for me, but he could start over Son. For me, I'm just waiting to see how the Brighton game goes. But yeah, Toney is definitely a player who will be highly owned this week from a lot of free hitters, and you could definitely have him in your team. I think Brentford as a side have looked a lot more creative. Sergio Canos coming back from injury. You've also got the introduction of Christian Erickson, who is a really good option for this week, and I will talk about him at the end. But yeah, Ivan Toney looked a lot better with Christian Erickson in. Erickson arguably should have had a second assist. Toney was brought down inside the box. Erickson slipped him in. So they do look a more attacking side, do Brentford. And I could definitely see Toney scoring. So he is one player who's on the bench in this free hit draft, but you could definitely put him into your side. And, you know, there would be no questions from me. Finally on the bench, I've gone for Matty Cash. Just been in really good form recently. I was kind of running out of defenders. You could even put another Wolves defender on there if you really wanted, but I've just gone for Matty Cash. Scored a lot of goals in the past few game weeks. Been a really good pick for the players that have been able to get him, but he's 3rd sub on my bench. He's probably not going to come into my team. He's just there to make up the numbers. Now, there is a man that I've been speaking about all video, and it is Christian Erickson. Now, Christian Erickson is a player who potentially could come in for Son for me, and it's just purely down to the fact that Leicester are terrible at conceding from set plays. Ericsson's on them. He's looked so good since coming back into the Brentford side. The underlying data's not quite there, but I think he's played like just over 200 minutes, so that can be forgiven. But if you are looking for a differential this week who could potentially haul or at least get a few attacking returns, then Christian Erickson is a great little option that you should be looking for. If you have enjoyed my Game Week 30 free hit draft, then do please like the video. Do please subscribe. This took me a while to make this graphic. It really did. So all the likes, all the views, all the subscribers, all the followers on Twitter, honestly, it means the absolute world to me that we're growing. We're starting to, you know, attract some views as well. Last week was really good views. You know, we hit the 60 kind of view mark. That means the world to me because, you know, like I said, they mean the absolute world to me because, you know, it's not me just sat in my bedroom talking to myself and like, you know, 10 other people. There are people enjoying the videos, liking the videos, commenting, telling me that I'm doing a really good job. So it honestly means the absolute world to me. So if you do like, do subscribe. Honestly, thank you very much. Massively appreciated. Good luck with your Game Week 30. Let me know what you're doing. Are you free hitting? Have you already got your team ready? What are you doing? Let me know in the comments below, and enjoy the rest of your day.